Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Sarah here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Frank, and he's selling his Amazon FBA business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. Welcome to the show, Frank. How you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, good to hear. Great to have you here. Looking forward to talking more about your business. Before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of the business. This is an Amazon FBA business in the kitchenware niche, created in January 2016. The average monthly revenue of this business is $35,008 and has an average of $5,763 per month in net profit, and that is based on a 12-month pricing period. Included in the sale of this business are Amazon Seller Central Count and 5 SKUs, domain and all site content files, trademark, social media accounts, Etsy account, SOPs, and supplier contracts and relationships. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 47363 to learn more about the business or place a refundable deposit to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing. Now that I've given a general overview of the business, let's dig into the interview. So Frank, can you tell me a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Well, sure. This business was actually our first business. My wife and I started it, she said, a few years back, so that we would have a business to sustain us while we RV'd around the United States with our kids for a couple of years. So we built the business, and it's been running very successfully since then. We also have done a website kind of chronicling our travels. But as far as the Amazon, and selling online, this is our first business. It's done real well for us.
Oh, that's super exciting. RVing across the U.S. That's amazing. Well, I'm curious, why did you choose FBA as your sort of online business?
Well, when we decided that we wanted to travel, we knew we needed an income that was mobile. Our income at the time was not. I had a job and so a corporate position, and I wanted to leave that. So we just started doing research online for quite a few months into just different types of online businesses. We ran into a program at the time that was teaching folks how to create a business on Amazon, and we took that training and just did a ton of research ourselves. The different ways that you can go into Amazon. We chose FBA because we wanted to have our own brand and obviously be able to keep our products in Amazon's own warehouses so that we would not have to handle the product ourselves. Being on the road, that wouldn't work very well. So that's why FBA really appealed to us.
That's a great answer. Would you say that this business model is good for those, say, just starting out?
Absolutely. There are other ways to sell on Amazon, where you're buying and selling, buying products cheap and reselling them. We found that brand marketing our own products eliminates some of the competition hassles, and FBA just eliminates, like I said, having to handle the product yourself. Once you've gotten set up with your suppliers, you can direct ship your products to the Amazon warehouses, and they don't have to go through your hands at all. So for starting out, absolutely. We always recommend this business model to people who ask.
Good to hear. Well, tell me a little bit about your niche. So why did you choose this niche?
Well, we tried a few different things along the way, but we are, we're big kitchen people. We like to cook. We like food. Being on the road, that kind of lends itself to trying a lot of different things. But we tried a lot of different products, and the ones that we've kept are the ones that kind of really did well for us and kind of fit our lifestyle very well.
Awesome. So why are you selling the business instead of keeping it and growing it?
Well, we've been doing it for several years now, and we feel that it's time for us to move on. We've moved into some other avenues that are kind of taking up more of our time. And so just our general focus has moved in that direction. And so we decided to, that this business has been doing well, and it might be time to let somebody else take over the reins and kind of move on with our new venture.
Absolutely. Well, surely you learned quite a few things along the way. Would you say there's anything you learned from this business that you would apply to future sites or businesses? Or, did you find anything that just seemed to really work for you?
Well, I think the main advice that I would give people is that there's so much out there that you see, especially since Amazon's just exploded with sellers like us. There are a lot of people taking advantage of that. and putting out programs that will promise people, you can do this business in no time at all. And, I think just to realize that every business takes effort and you get back what you put into it. That being said, early on with this business, we put in a tremendous amount of effort, a lot of hours, and got it to where now it does run itself. But that's not what happens initially. And so just to make sure that people realize that, business takes work. And I think that's the main thing. You get what you give.
That's a great answer. Just going off that a bit, we do try to help listeners who are newer to the monetization sort of learn, what they're getting themselves into. I'm curious, you just said it took a lot of upfront work. Do you have almost like a time frame in mind? You say the first 3 to 6 months is when you were doing all that intensive legwork and then things started to coast from there? Or, I don't know if you have like a rough timeline of how that played out for you.
Yeah, I would say more 6 months to a year of really good focused work. And it depends. Choosing products, that's the real thing to learn about. And some people are very successful quickly because they choose the right products and those products take off very well. So there's a lot of research to be done into that. But with us, it took a little longer. We tried a few different products. So it was probably more like a year or so before we started to really feel like, hey, we've got this product that's really working well. Let's expand on that idea and try to do, kind of complementary products to ones that work. And so building off that model, I think once you find something that goes for you, you can springboard off that.
Well, and I think, maybe just hinted to it there. Can you tell me a little bit about the things that you tried that didn't work?
There were a number of different products. We tried other models of Amazon selling. We tried to do some drop shipping and we tried to do some retail arbitrage, which is, buying products that are on discount and reselling them on Amazon at higher prices. Those models simply did not work out for us. There's a tremendous amount of competition, and it's just really, especially retail arbitrage, is just dog eat dog. So we moved away from that and got into, private labeling.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid advice because I know there's plenty of people out there going, gosh, there's a lot of ways to make money on Amazon, but, what is the best way? So I appreciate that insight there. Getting back to, the business at hand here, can you tell me a little bit about, your traffic and your marketing? So, where's the majority of your traffic coming from and what are you currently doing in terms of marketing for the business?
We have a regular Amazon PPC campaigns running on our products. That is the main thing. I think there's a huge opportunity, especially with one of our products, to do some marketing outside of Amazon. And that's always a path that I've wanted to try and follow, but we just haven't done it. But I do think there's some great opportunity there. But PPC is mainly what we're doing. We do have a person who helps us with that and manages that for us. And that kind of runs itself from where I'm concerned, because the person that we have do it is just excellent and does that professionally. So that's our main marketing outside using some of the online tools for launching products that are very helpful in getting your rankings up and getting your products noticed. We will use, particular programs to launch products and get them noticed.
Okay. And the person that you just mentioned who helps you with PPC, would they be somebody that would be able to transfer over for the buyer?
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, you were just mentioning opportunities there, but I want to open the floor just in case you have anything else to add. If you were to keep this business, what are some ways that you would try to grow it?
I would definitely grow the product line. We have a couple of different areas that we could move our product line and add, like I said, complementary products into the product line. And then I would also look for some, direct outside Amazon direct avenues to market the product through some different shops. The products kind of lend themselves towards particular areas, and I think there's some real opportunity there to, kind of widen the market and, protect oneself from the ups and downs of the Amazon world. So, I think there's some really good opportunities there.
Absolutely. Of course, on the flip side, what do you think are the biggest risks with the business that a buyer should be aware of?
Well, I guess always the Amazon world. If you're only selling through Amazon, then you are beholden to, whatever changes in policy that Amazon might make, that may make it difficult. And they're always, they're Amazon, like Google and everybody else who run these massive online systems. They change their algorithms. They're constantly trying to make their business better, which impacts your business. So you kind of want to be diligent about making sure you keep up with the latest trends and what new products are coming out and, how your products are doing against their competition and what changes you may need to make adjusting your listings or adjusting photographs, images, and different things just to make sure that you're staying on top of your game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, can you describe the amount and type of work you do on this business for maintenance?
Really, at this point, I maintain my listings. I check almost daily, just a real quick check on my products to make sure that they're holding their page rankings. I'll check those numbers real quickly. And then, maintaining the relationships with my suppliers and ordering product when I need to. Those are very, very well kind of greased wheels at this point. So a simple email gets the ball rolling. And so ordering product is quite simple. And just following that through the chain, especially what comes out of China. So, just to make sure that the products get on boats and they get over to the ports and that they get in and get over to Amazon. So just kind of watching that, and then watching the PPC campaigns and making sure that our money's being well spent.
Would you say that there are say skills or requirements for someone not familiar with this niche or business model?
Well, like anything else, there's an education to it. Amazon is kind of its own animal. So you just kind of have to learn the ins and outs, the ropes of Amazon a little bit. It's nothing earth-shattering. It's not rocket science. I think pretty much anybody can learn, but there's a certain amount of it that's experiential, and you kind of pick it up along the way. You join groups that are in similar Amazon businesses, and there's, there are always Facebook groups and different places that you can get together with other sellers and just talk through what's going on and, kind of keep up with the latest trends.
Well, on that note, would you try to ask people, where it was that they learned, got the most value when they were trying to learn their business model? So, you've mentioned Facebook groups a couple times and some programs. Would you mind sharing names of some of these groups or programs, things that really helped you learn FBA?
Yeah, the best one I think that I could recommend is called REAL, R-E-A-L, Real Amazon Investors. And that's a group run by, actual Amazon sellers who have been very, very successful. And they have grown quite a community around them over the years. And in fact, we're featured, I think, on some of their advertising from our work with them over the years. They're tremendous, and they keep a very active community. So they're really the best ones that I could recommend.
Yeah, that's awesome. And thank you for sharing that. We do get listeners who comment in on these sometimes going, what was that group that person mentioned? So cool to hear. Just a few wrap-up questions here. How much support are you offering buyers?
I'm happy to negotiate that, but I would think within a month or two, we could certainly have a new buyer up and running with this business. As I say, it's only a few products and they do very well, but they're kind of running in a fairly self-sustaining way. So I would think within a month or two, we could have somebody pretty comfortable with this business.
Great. Would you commit to a non-compete?
I would.
Okay. Are you open to something like an earn-out?
Yeah, we would discuss that.
Awesome. Well, I'm just really curious here. I think you forged a very interesting path where, you've developed this business, but you're kind of living the dream. You've taken it on the road and you're, I don't know if you're still in the RV or still traveling with your family, but I'm curious, what kind of advice or insight would you give to those who are interested in following a similar path?
Really, it's just get started. Do a lot of research, learn your way around things. But at the end of the day, nothing happens until you sell something. So, at some point you've got to figure out what to do and go ahead and jump in there with both feet and, keep your eyes and ears open, watch your money and, be smart and keep trying.
Great advice. Well, last question here, putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
Well, it's super easy to run at this point. It's a business that's done very well, has very strong profit margins. And, I think for somebody looking to start their own Amazon business or to add, sell a group of products to an existing Amazon business, I think this is a really solid business to have.
Great. Well, Frank, this has been a great interview. I've finished up most of my questions here. Do you have anything else, anything else I might have missed before we get going?
I don't think so. I thank you very much for speaking with me today and hope my words help someone who's looking into this type of business.
Yeah, I think you've done a great job and the business is pretty exciting. So looking forward to how everything plays out for you. For everyone listening, thanks for tuning in. To check out more details on this business or place a deposit, visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 47363. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. By placing a refundable deposit, you'll be given everything you need to know about the business and can start your due diligence. Until next time.